Okay, so was able to pull a bunch of packs for all the wins and the pity packs that you get for trying and playing in ranked, and uncrafted a bunch of stuff that I didn't know what it did, and was able to make the deck a little bit more cohesive, I think, based on the video. So I added a bunch of Kashtiras who have the 2500 stat line, which plays well with the Genesis engine. Changed up the ratio for things like how many warriors and things are in, so it's less bricky. Uh, Added some more stuff to the extra deck that plays well with level 7s and 8s, which is what most of these are. And then just generally good cards that people said like in the comments stuff are good cards. People told me what kaijus were; those sound super cool. And so yeah, I was like, now we'll just see if this makes it change, if this makes it better, if this makes it worse. Or I'm about halfway into my time for how much I'm putting in to see if I can't like catch the bug again, if I can't keep going. A bunch of stuff has happened since they announced a new format, which sounds like super cool Genesis format, funnily enough. So definitely got thoughts about that. And then let's just get into the first game. Okay, first game. Yeah, definitely interesting. Well, when I was reading stuff about Genesis format, now that that's coming out, it actually, in a lot of weird ways, reminds me of OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Because there, as far as I could tell, it's 100% a point system. There's no official ban list. So really, if you think about it, it really is like the old style of deck construction of just like, if you could fit it, fit it. It's definitely very, very cool because it gives you the opportunity to like play with cards ordinarily you couldn't. You know, stuff that's typically banned, like Pot of Greed, is now allowed, which is amazing. But of course, very, very powerful. But they eat up basically your entire point cost. So you have to kind of decide. You have to decide to yourself whether it's worth it or not to how you make your ratios work, basically, which is cool. Let's see if I can figure this out. No hand traps so far, so no Ash or anything. So either he knows he knows when to use them, or he doesn't know what I'm doing. Either way. Yeah. So Birth lets me normal summon without tributing. That's the downside. I know what none of these cards do, so luckily they glow when you can use them. And then it's level 7 with 25, so you could show, summon, activate effect. I want more interruptions, so I'll take this. This gives me an interruption and it lets me send one to the grave. And then I have cards on the field. So I will set Imperm. No reason to extra deck. Okay. But yeah, so for Genesis, I could definitely see it being fun. I can definitely see it being very, very dysfunctional at the start. Like when people are still trying to get their read on like what the point system are, because obviously they're gonna have to tweak the point system, and tweaking the point system will almost be like their version of a ban list. It's like, oh, if people are just all running 3 Pot of Greed, which is basically like playing a 34 card deck at that point, they will probably make it like 40 or 50 points. I mean, some cards that I remember from back in the day, they got reprints like what was the boss monster? Yugi and Joey's boss, Dragoon, Red Eyes Dragoon. That's super cool. You could definitely like, that's a cool card. It's super cool. It looks awesome. I love the art design of that card, but it's like 100 points. So it's like you're playing that card and literally nothing else. So basically no ways to cheat it out or do anything, which is interesting. I think it really comes down to application. I mean, Konami, like looking at this, like Master Duel, right? There's basically no support for alternate formats or older formats. You're basically playing modern or you're playing nothing, which kind of sucks. It's why I had to get back into modern. There's no, oh, you can play the 2002 to 2007 format. Like, that's not an option. Sometimes they do events, but it's different. Even then, all the cards on here are like the newest version of the cards. So if cards get edited, if they get restructured, they use the modern effects. So there can have to be a learning curve to that. I think ultimately, I mean, just like with all card games, it's probably going to be as fun as the people you play with. So like if you can get friends to play, it'll be super cool because you can just play the decks you want. Like I could definitely see like a lower powered Blue Eyes because of the point system, but still like not as nearly as bad as OG Blue Eyes. OG Blue Eyes was a brick fest. You got it off once every 10 games, where you didn't just open up 2 useless Blue Eyes in like Kid Moto or something. But yeah, because that was, I mean, it's awesome because you get to use Blue Eyes, but it was just such a dysfunctional deck that it didn't mean anything. Okay. Fenrir, summon, effect. Get Unicorn. Activate Genesis. Genesis, get me Archfiend. Now Archfiend, show Unicorn. Activate. Activate Archfiend. Archfiend, get Birth. I do find the naming scheme funny too, that it's Genesis after Regenesis just came out. I know it's not the only set of cards in that pack. It is funny though. Dude, that's 2 scoops. I fear what may have happened is, I think these cards might be notable. There might be some notoriety associated with these cards. And as a result of that, I think people are seeing them and they're just picking up the card. They're like, that's it, I can't do it. Even though they have no idea that secretly I know nothing about what I'm doing. And I'm just clicking flashing buttons. The one good benefit of a simulator. In real life, you just put your cards and you hope you remember the effects right. And if you don't remember the effects right, it's all about bullshitting the other person into thinking that you know what you're talking about. The amount of times that I was able to like convince someone when we were 9 that, oh, I magic cylinder your thing that has an effect that drops a card out of my hand, but I magic cylinder it, so now you gotta drop a card out of your hand. It's like, is that how the card works? Not in the slightest, but you're 9 and you don't know. I think it's very, very similar. Get Unicorn. Dude, Diddy Kong. The Diddy Kong? Response. What do you got? Nothing. Okay. Show Lord Archfiend. Archfiend activate. Archfiend activate. I'm gonna get Genesis. Genesis activate. Ooh, don't Ash Blossom myself. Genesis activate. Get Warrior. Warrior. And then banish Warrior. For Lord. Lord gets Birth. Well, Genesis Birth, and then set Kashtira Birth, and then pass. Activate. End phase. It definitely does make you think about what the meta will be, though, because one thing I've noticed playing this is that there's obviously a lot of different style cards, and we're playing like the earlier ranks, so we're playing like a lot of the more fringe stuff. It's not all necessarily a like super tier 0 type stuff. One thing I definitely have noticed is that like just looking around and like reading comments and just looking on the internet now that I'm more into like Yu-Gi-Oh proper is I've noticed there's a lot of cards in this guy's deck. That one. One thing I've noticed for sure is that there's definitely some standouts. Like I think right now everyone's talking about Malice, and it's like an Alice in Wonderland / Cyberverse crossover archetype that apparently is super toxic, and I can't say I don't love the art. I think the art is super cool, and I love the idea of crossing those kind of archetypes, like because they juxtapose very, very well against each other, so it's very interesting. I just wonder how much, like maybe they made him too powerful, so to speak, I guess you could say. And now I'll flip this face down, because this is a well, send dragon. I should have sent Sage. And then you're a tuner, so I'll set you. Well, the center's the tuner. I probably should have set the tuner. Oh well. Archfiend. Now, funny enough, I actually know Archfiend because I think the last anime that I watched for Yu-Gi-Oh! Way back in the day was 5Ds, and I believe Archfiend was like that show's Kaiba inserts boss monster or whatever. It was Red Dragon Archfiend, then Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, and then Crimson Dragon was like the end dragon of the show. That shit got. It was card games on motorcycles. That stuff got so confusing so quickly. I just didn't know what was going on, and I was like, okay, we're fighting the world, I guess. Yeah, it was Duel Monsters, did it make more sense? No. Because they, like, I remember the end of Duel Monsters, they used polymerization on the Egyptian gods to make, like, an angel that ends all shadow or something. Don't think I can kill this turn, but I should be able to. This does actually no, I might be able to because this does piercing. You know? Huh. I didn't. How did I not see this coming? Huh. I can't do anything about that. Well, how about that? Anyway. No, I can't do this. Damn. Oh, you... Can I do it? No, I can't. I guess I misread that card. Huh. Well, I can special summon. See if I can't dig myself out of this hole. Special summon. I should be able to banish this, summon. This. Activate. My big issue is that they all went to the turn on my grave, which means they're not coming back. That's all I can do. Can't believe I walked in Mirror Force in 2025. I haven't seen that card on anyone's deck list. That's what I get. That's what I get for researching and not just play. Gotta play with your heart. That is also a tuner. I could special summon a bunch of stuff. It's probably better to get the tuner off the field. And then I will send another dragon. Set. I mean, he could still make an 8 if he has an 8 to make, but yeah. Dragon comes back. So my turn. Draw phase. Draw. Triple tack. He scooped. Okay. Whew. Bullet dodged. Cannot believe that panned out. But yeah, as I was saying, though, I definitely do hope that Master Duel adds some sort of like alternative format or alternative mode. Like you could duel Genesis format, or you could duel like Modern. Because I'll be honest, like up to this point, has Modern been entertaining? Yes. Like it's definitely cool going into it like you did when you were a kid, and you're like, well, I know what none of these cards do, so it's super cool to learn the cards and see what they do and see how they interact. But to a certain degree, it's like, because I cut a bunch of fluff out, there's a certain amount of like, okay, well, I've done my thing. It took me 30 seconds or so, usually because I don't know what I'm doing. I have to read every single individual card. But you do all that, and then you're like, cool, what was the, what's the end goal? It's like, the end goal is like, you set up your board, and it's like, well, they either break it or they don't. Most games are done in like, I don't know, 3 to 5 turns, I'd say. And the games are slow but quick in a weird way. Like, if you don't draw hand traps, you sit there for 3 minutes while they play solitaire, right? And you're like, okay, at least on my turn, I'll be able to do something. And then they end with 16 cards that all say, like, oh, completely unaffected by all card effects. And it's like, and also cannot be destroyed by battle, and cannot be sent to the graveyard, and cannot do all this. It's like, well, okay, well, then you just won. Congratulations, you played the card that says you win, because this is a card game that says it's not affected by cards. So it's like, okay, cool. Now what? Like, did we have fun? I certainly didn't. And then the game ends. So that is certainly an interesting aspect of it that I can't say that, like, I love. I think shooting the gap might be better if there was like a slightly slower, like faster kind of middle ground. Like, I remember someone mentioned in the comments, Edison format, and I looked at that, and that's basically like 5Ds on through whatever came after 5Ds. I don't know. At that point, I was in like high school, and I was like, oh, I can't be watching Yu-Gi-Oh! People make fun of me. He said, still playing Pokemon at the time, but it was definitely one of those things where I was like, oh, you know, I mean, if it's something, I guess. And I was like, I might have to look at it. Obviously, Master Duel doesn't have it, so it'd have to be something that if I ever get a friend, I'll be like, hey, listen, let's Google what that is, and then we will see if I can't do it on like an online card simulator or something. This guy's playing Blue Eyes, which it's amazing how many cards they added to Blue Eyes since I left, where they're just like, oh, dude, it used to just be Blue Eyes. And I remember when they had, well, what was, I don't even remember what it was called. It was called like Shining Blue Eyes, the movie release promo card that nobody ever played. If you went to see like Pyramid of Light in theaters, that was crazy. And it's like, yeah, now they got like Blue Eyes, they got all these people, they got like a jet dragon, which I remember the jet from the anime. I didn't know that they made it into a card. You know, Kaiser Seahorse got a card, or Neo Kaiser Seahorse, that they retrained the Kaiser Seahorse cards. And it's like, okay, it's like, dude, it's super cool. It's super cool. They got a bunch of fusion monsters. Obviously, they have Tyrant. Tyrant's, I guess you could call Tyrant an old card, because I believe Tyrant came out, I don't remember when it came out into the card game, but I remember when it was also from original Duel Monsters. That was the Awakening the Dragons arc, which, funnily enough, isn't canon, but they took it anyway. And then I'm gonna stop this. And then a lot of it's just been like learning. It's like, something else I've noticed is they put like 6 novels on all these cards. So every time you see a new card, you've got to stop and like read it, and you only got 300 seconds, so you better read quick, and you better not miss a line that says like, oh, immune to this bullshit, in which case you read it all and it doesn't matter, and then it does the thing anyway. You know, cards that are unaffected, if you try to negate them, don't get negated because the negation is an effect of another card. So it does, so I don't know why it lets you, but it lets you because it's not a target effect, and it gets so spirally where you're like, man, I remember normal summon Sangan attack, and it's like, and if you blow me up, then congratulations, I get to search a card. Like, oh, there's Tyrant. Now the downside is it's immune to trap cards, and I have like no way to out it. Because even if I pop the thing, I know True Light. If you blow True Light up, then you have to. Then everything on the board blows up. I have no way to blow True Light up. I can only banish it, which doesn't affect it because it needs to be destroyed and then sent, which is another arbitrary restriction that's been in the game forever. Though I mean, back in the day when it was, they didn't even call it a banish pile. It was removed from play. It's like it's off the board. Even though now and again, it's not even removed from play. Like half the decks play in removed from play. They're like, oh, if it gets removed from play, then it gets to summon. It's like, well, that's why we call it banish. It's technically different. Oh well, this is a complete bricking. I lose. I'm the kind guy. I will give them the satisfaction of killing me. But yeah, that's that's nothing I could do with that hand. Dragon's hanging out staring at me. But what will you do about the other two cards? Double Mystical Space Typhoon. It's like, oh, you got me. Wishes. Dude, Blue Eyes seems like another fun deck. Like, it seems like it's got a lot of moving pieces, and you probably need to sequence it in a very specific way. But once you get it, I'm sure it's, like, super, super fun. Oh, hey, Lance. I had that card. Everything I saw basically said, like, everyone's running that Lance specifically for Malice. And it's like, cool. I probably am not going to run into those in, like, silver tier. So I took it out, knowing that I've spoken my piece. I'm sure the next 6 people will be Malice. But, I mean, it's like, I get why you have to do it, but if I'm taking up 3 card slots on, like, the hope that it's specifically against one deck that does the specific thing that the Lance plays for, it just seems like I'm wasting spaces when I could have stuff like, you know, like Raigeki or like more core monsters. That's probably a old school philosophy of like, oh, if I have more monsters, then I'll always have more monsters than them, as opposed to like the really arbitrary stuff that sends itself to do effects. But it seems like it's gotten very, very hand trap heavy, so that like the majority of deck lists that I was looking at, it's like, oh, okay, well, first things first, you're going to start with 12 hand traps. And then you're like, well, you only got a 40 card deck, so 1/4 of my deck is just hand traps, right? It's like Max C, which you're allowed 2 of, 3 Ash, 3 Imperm. Sometimes you're running Veiler, which is like, okay, that's like useful if you can get it, you get it. The Lance for Malice, that rock that destroys everything on the field and then summons the rock, and then you get like a token. This guy is still playing, huh? I got no cards. I got no cards and 5,000 life points. You've got like 8,000 on board. Just kill me. Just kill me. I promise I won't do anything. I promise. Dude. Now that's a cool card. Dude, Ultimate Spirit Dragon. That's cool. I don't know if that was in the anime. Maybe in like a later season, but that looks so cool. That's the thing about Blue Eyes, dude. Blue Eyes is so cool. Like, the aesthetic of Blue Eyes is so cool. I mean, who doesn't love dragons? Like, big, powerful dragons. Says the Dungeons and Dragons guy, I know, but still, it's just such a crazy thing. And then you're like, well, that's cool. The character, their basic Kaiba's super cool. He's like he's super fun character. Oh, it's such a good archetype, too. It's so much fun. I get to see, like, the running joke has always been, like, Blue Eyes sucks, right? I mean, at the end of the day, all decks are pilots, right? If you don't know what you're doing, all decks suck. You know, I could play Malice right now and fucking lose 10 rounds because I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm sure this is one of those decks that, like, if you get really, really good at it, it's cracked. I mean, look at the board right now, right? As I've been speaking, there's like 13,000 damage on board. I think at least 2 of these probably negate something. True Light makes it so he can summon another Blue Eyes. I think Jet protects from effects. Like, oh, it's so cool. Well, we'll see if we get lucky in the next one. Park. Dude, short, sweet, to the point. Guy's got a frog. Frog looks cool. Let's see. Unicorn. Some. What have? Effect. Nope, it's... I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what that card is. Hold on. Stovey Torby? Oh god, are we getting stupid with the with a naming scheme. I'm not gonna say Cashier is creative, but Stovey Torby. Welcome Labyrinth Monsters. Okay. Well, if it's Labyrinth Monsters, none of these are named Labyrinth. So this one looks cool. Banish. Then dragon on the board. Add a spell. Ash Blossom. That's fine. Yeah, now they Ash Blossom. That's their negate. I don't get my spell. But now they can't Ash my Regenesis. Regenesis get Sage for the negate. Sage for the negate. Special summon. Special summon. Activate Cycle. Cycle, banish the trap. Traps can't be activated on the turn they're set. Banish. And then there's no point in making extra deck. Actually there might have been. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I can either destroy a back row, I can banish a back row, or I can negate one thing. So not the best start, but spell card. Labyrinth. Wow, now we're getting creative. When you activate a set, welcome Labyrinth normal trap, you can add the additional effect. Okay, so it makes normal traps better. Dragon, get rid of the trap. Yeah. Okay, because that does nothing if they don't have traps to set. Monster Arena, the Labyrinth. You can add a Labyrinth card. I'm just gonna do nothing. I can hit over 1600. Now they gotta pick. They're running out of cards, so this is an interesting archetype though. It looks, I mean, I don't know what Stovey Torby was, but these look very like interesting. Like this design is not bad. I mean, it looks like what? It's a fiend. So what is it, like the anime style like Devil Girl type thing? Looks trap focused. Like you got to support spell card, but it looks like they had an archetype trap card. Trap cards would be fun. I mean, I'm a loser. I was the type of guy who I was playing with, you know, all your traps. You know, your Mirror Forces, your Magic Cylinders. I loved playing Destiny board. I don't think I ever won playing Destiny board, but I loved playing it.